in front of this board, you have to get 4 positive votes. Because of business reasons, the chairman, which is why I'm sitting here now, darn it, resigned from the board. And we learned just within, the last 36 hours, that one of the other board members who was signed in to be here, which would have given us 5, felt that under the circumstances with the amount of interest in the petition and because of some elements that he recused himself in an abundance of caution, which I think makes a degree of sense. So as a result, we learned just this morning, we would have given everybody more notice had we known, that we were only going to have 4. The board's general position and my strong position is to always give an applicant the opportunity to continue if there was only going to be 4. Obviously, if there were 3, we couldn't have a meeting at all. And I think, because I do this for good practice, is to always wait to get 5 members of the board. And so town council contacted Medina, who contacted the applicant, who agreed that they would in fact want to go forward with a full complement. Because the Board of Selectmen is meeting in about a week, at that time, Rory Warren, who is resigned from the board as a permanent member, is expected to be appointed an associate member, so he'll be back available. And there is somebody who has applied to be an associate member, which it is anticipated that that person will be appointed. And so we will be back at full complement with at least 1 extra person. So the likelihood of the next meetings for this and all of our items of having at least 5 members is dramatically increased. So I know I think we were all poised. There's been a lot of material. I think we've all spent at least a fair amount of time looking at it and taking it very seriously. So that now the question is, when will we next meet? We will, absent the situation which you may have overheard, but it would be my request, and I would hope the board would agree, that it would be inappropriate to meet on what was automatically scheduled to be our next scheduled meeting, which would be the 4th Wednesday of the month, which is the end of Yom Kippur. And so we would not bring people out who may just be finishing their holiday at sundown and then say come to an important meeting. That's, I think, inappropriate. So the next technical meeting would be the 14th, but because everybody's interested in this is to move this along and get some resolution, we would attempt to determine if we can meet on the 7th, which would be 2 weeks from the 23rd, but not the second Wednesday of October. And I'm hopeful that the members of the board or when we have 2 new members, with Rory and the other person who they were appointed by the Board of Selectmen on the 15th, that hopefully we would be able to have that meeting and have it solely dedicated to this item on the 7th of October, Wednesday the 7th of October. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. I will be surprised if we can't get a 5 member. I mean, I know I'll be there. You do. So we have 4 already, and then I think that I'll break his arm before he will come. I think one way or the other we'll have 5 people for the 7th. And so I'd like to ask if the applicant would agree to continue. I'd like to ask the applicant to agree to continue to the 14th, but indicate whether the applicant is willing or able to go on the 7th. Because I would prefer, because we have 2 items on the 14th already, and I prefer to give this item as much time as is necessary to have the proponents, the opponents, and citizens who wish to be heard have the opportunity. It will be carefully controlled. There will be time limits. so we don't spend the night here. But I think it's better, and I think Dean agrees, and I hope the other members agree, that it would be better to have a night where this would be the sole item. So, with that introduction, I'd ask the attorney for the proponent, if the attorney for the proponent is here. For your case.
Eric Goldberg, on behalf of the applicants, Joseph Costantino and Frank, I have no issue with proceeding on the 7th. I'm free the 7th, I'm free the 14th. I would certainly prefer that the matter be the only one on the docket, but whatever is to the convenience of this board, the folks I represent can be here on the 7th or any other day that this board would like us to be. So,
I appreciate that. So what I would request is that if you sign on behalf of your clients, that we have this indicate, and I need to write it in, that it's continued to Wednesday the 14th, but I'm going to indicate, but also your willingness to go on the 7th, and the moment we'll give you notice of that. If the zoning board, if the board of selectmen appoints on the 15th, we will let you know no later than the 16th of September that we're available for the 7th. I mean, I don't presume that the board of selectmen is going to do that would be inappropriate, but it's my understanding that it's inconceivable they won't appoint Rory as an associate member, and as long as he's available, then he'll sit, and I presume that the new member, if he or she, I'm not sure their gender, if they're appointed. But I would think that with 2 more people added to these 4, we're pretty much certain they have
I'm happy to appear to convenience the board. Obviously, we will file a full complement. And do you need to date the extension beyond for purposes of the decision?
Now, if it turns out, since I think we have plenty of time to issue a decision on this, if we don't close at the next meeting, then we'll address it at that time. But I think that we're in good shape. We have the 14th, and then what would we have 2 weeks from that? Now, with that's Thanksgiving week. Do we normally? I mean, no, it's October, so we would have no problem if we had to go 14, 28. So if we don't finish the public hearing on the 7th, I would expect, unless there's very little left to do, that we can finish on the 28th. But we have 2 items on the 14th, and we have to assess the degree of difficulty of those and determine how quickly those might go. And we will stay in touch with you and you people well in advance on the 7th as to whether or not we be wrapping up on the 14th or we were on the 28th. Okay?
I think you should vote to have certain, otherwise you'll have to be notified.
All right, well then, so either way, then I'm going to take a chance to say that it will be Wednesday, October 7th. For you, council, is that okay?
Again, yes.
The resolution this evening, we're prepared to make those points, but obviously, as the chair, it's at your pleasure whether you wish to hold that issue until the 7th.
That would be my pleasure. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. So we've concluded that portion